Cardcaptor Sakura is an animated series based on the manga of the same name. Its quality animation, storytelling and presentation makes it an enjoyable show, regardless of age and taste. There's something about this Cardcaptor's journey that makes it an intriguing and wonderful experience. And it seems to have translated well into video games.
Ooh.
Animetic Story Game 1, Cardcaptor Sakura, is a role-playing game adaptation of the first season of the show. Without further time wasting, let's begin. Sakura comes home to an empty house and hears some noises in the basement. She wanders down there with just her baton for defense to discover a magic book. The cards inside are accidentally set free, and it's up to Sakura to get them all again. She makes a pact with Kero-Beros, the demon of the seal, this cute little thing, and then sets off to capture her first card, Fly. This scene from the show has been recreated as an auto-scrolling section where Sakura must jump or duck in order to avoid Fly's attacks. After this short but fun little microgame is done, Sakura hoists herself up onto Fly and transforms it back into a cloud card. That's one episode down, 13 to go. Episode 2 introduces us to Sakura's brother, her love interest, her father, and her best friend. They're not all the same person. Her best friend, Tomoyo, always creeps me out because she's way too obsessed with filming Sakura, and it turns out she's done just that. Tomoyo captured Sakura on film when she was flying home last night, and now she's got to let Tomoyo in on the whole magical girl thing. Kero-chan notices a disturbance at school, and they return at night to find a card named Shadow. Yes, Shadow. Well done. It's moved all the tables and chairs, and it's generally been a nuisance. For Sakura to capture it, Tomoyo must go find the main switch and turn the school floodlights on. This section has you traipsing around the school at night, pushing desks in order to find the light switch. This part also introduces us to the game's main collectible, extra cloud cards scattered about, which are on your maps. So you don't really have to worry about missing one. Once Shadow has been weakened with the massive floodlights, Sakura captures the card, and it's another success story for Cardcaptor Sakura. Episode 3 takes place at the aquarium. This is the episode where Sakura captures Watery. As per the show, Sakura's date with Yukito at the aquarium leads to the discovery of Watery and its antics. Sakura then returns at night with Tomoyo and Kero-chan to capture the card. Just as she does in the show, this episode's minigame has Sakura luring Watery into the freezer. Once stiffened in place, all Sakura has to do is capture Watery, and it's another card down. Episode 4 is our first introduction to Twin Bells, the toy shop Sakura and her friends consider their home from home. We'll be seeing this place a lot. In this episode, you help put toys on shelves, play a tarot card matching game that you're certainly not going to see again and certainly isn't going to get old, and this awesome shell game section at the end. I love this minigame, it's so fun, but so short. Once you win this minigame, Sakura catches the jump card. Episode 5 has a light hunting minigame which is a bit lazy in its execution, but it's the episode where Sakura captures the Illusion, a card that uses the image of her dead mother to try and lure her off a cliff. Sakura beats the magical persuasion of the Illusion, captures it, and brings peace to her mother's presence. It's a nice emotional little episode and it's a good moment in the show. Episode 6 is set at Twin Bells, what a surprise, and is an excuse to use the tarot card matching minigame again. It's not so interesting, so let's move on. I must point out that this is our first appearance of what looks like Lee skulking away in the back. We'll see more of him in the next episode. Speaking of which, episode 7 focuses on Sakura's capture of the Thunder, and has a really interesting minigame where she must avoid lightning strikes. Lee saves the day by quelling the beast, activating the powers of Sakura's shadow card to keep it restrained, while Sakura transforms it back into card form. Episode 8 is another tarot card matching minigame. Jeez, you really liked this one, didn't you, developers? Yes! I'm surprised this wasn't just Cardcaptor Sakura's shitty card matching game. At the end of the episode, the game asks us to switch to Disc 2. Yeah, it's time to change disc. We're going from Sakura A to Tomoyo B. What do you mean it doesn't work like Resident Evil 2? So we start with a bang. Episode 9 is the Sports Day episode where Sakura captures Flowery. It introduces us to Tomoyo's mother, Sonomi Daidoji, and explains what her relation is to Fujitaka Kinomoto, Sakura's dad. The minigame is a rhythm-based dancing game which I completely sucked at, but it's a nice little extra to kick off Disc 2. Episode 10 is based on the story where Sakura has to capture the Time, one of the most powerful cards in the show. If you make a noise, time is reversed back and you have to start over, so it becomes a game of memorization knowing which path you can take. However, it doesn't outstay its welcome at all, it's just short enough so you don't pull your hair out with frustration. Lee manages to capture the Time, but Sakura also finds and captures the Mist during this episode. Episode 11 focuses on the time that Sakura's class went to the zoo, where Sakura has to defeat the Power card at a game of tug of war. This is a complete balls up of the canon because Sakura actually captures the Mist after the Power, but black. Canon schmanon. While not expressly stated in the game, Sakura succeeds in capturing the Power because Lee stops time and removes the rope from the Power's hands. But you know, I like to think that I succeeded. Even the elephant comes and helps you out. Even the elephant helps you out. Episode 12 is a tarot card matching game. Ugh, next! Episode 13 focuses on Sakura's capture of the Move, a card which makes things move. The Move is being a nuisance and it's making a library book float around. Sakura must locate the book by sensing its presence through a Simon minigame, only then can she capture the Move and send everything back to normal. Episode 14 focuses on Sakura's capture of the Erase and the Glow, and is the last episode in story mode. With Tomoyo in tow, Sakura must brave the Cave of Courage, and at the end capture the Erase, a card that has maliciously erased her friends from existence. After that, Sakura captures a docile card, known as the Glow, and with that, it's over. The story mode is like baby's first RPG. There's no denying that the game is an RPG, but there are no traditional battles or leveling up, yet it definitely contains more gameplay than your traditional visual novel. It is obviously intended for younger audiences with a low difficulty level, but luckily the extra, harder versions of the minigames allow us to have more fun outside of the main story mode. Being able to play a longer and tougher version of the Bush minigame is, well, super satisfying. Each of these minigames are more involved than before, and playing them earns points that you can spend on things, but I never really figured out what that was about, so you're not going to get any answers from me on that one. The attention to detail is pretty high throughout. No real liberties were taken, the plot wasn't hugely altered, it generally stays true to the source material. That's what I really like about this, it even uses music and clips directly from the show, which can't be said about all anime games. They pump the CD full of audio and video to make good use of the PlayStation's data storage system. Yeah, the presentation is top notch. I feel I've given you enough information to decide whether Animetic Story Game 1, Cardcaptor Sakura, is worth grabbing. So let's get to the ratings. Language barrier, minimal. The dialogue, menus, text is all in Japanese. Now normally, this amount of text and audio would render a gamer colossal on the language barrier, but in all actuality the game mostly plays itself, meaning the language barrier is actually barely even enough to register any concern. Should you play it? Maybe. It's definitely a fun little experience for Sakura fans, and will take around 3 hours to complete. It covers a lot of Season 1, and does so in this appealing art style, with lovely end-of-chapter illustrations that are really cute. But in terms of actual gameplay and genuinely enjoyable, involved experiences, there's almost nothing here. This has been SushiBites. Thanks for watching.